Hello everyone, it's Partyfoot again, playing another game of Mechabellum. This time we're going up against an elite spec, Tarantula Marksman, as a training specialist, picking up the early game Sledgehammers. Sledgehammers, of course, pretty good. Everyone knows that they're a kind of a staple, they're good all-rounders, just bulky and clear chaff and everything. Our opponent takes a pretty aggressive stance. We wanted to go for a little bit of a more standard style, trying to kind of go between the towers to approach either flank, anticipating he might be aggressive, and we're hoping that our opposite flank will be able to collapse in and still help with the fight. These units are too slow, really, to threaten the tower in a timely manner, so that was our choice there. Our opponent is an elite spec, so they did get some fangs. Starting without chaff as elite spec is pretty bold. I've certainly done it loads of times. Elite spec is, I think, one of my favorite specialists to play, honestly. Getting the kind of more impactful units, I guess. Being able to, I don't know, it just feels good, rather than always getting the level 1 units. It also changes your playstyle decently, but chaff is at a premium because of the expense of those extra units. So they are going to get the initial advantage here because we don't have that. Our fangs are getting concentrated down. The tanks are doing an extremely good job of taking down the fang packs, though. Nothing in the way of this marksman, so he's pretty exposed. He is already locked onto the tarantula, and our other two marksmen take down the second one. So quite weakened here. We are getting some DPS on the tower. Both tarantulas go down. So that's looking good for us. We have enough fangs here left that these marksmen are going to have a real tough time winning this fight, even with the debuff. So that was a good start to round number 1. These snipers getting levels, both of them, taking down all those tarantulas and opposing marksmen. We had spent enough money that we didn't really... I don't know, I wasn't convinced I would level something in the first round, so I saved the level. Potentially a mistake. We do notice that a lot of his units are extremely slow, and so we pick up a Stormcaller. We also need more chaff on this side. Our fangs were getting ground down pretty quickly, I thought. And I also thought maybe these marksmen, if we level them up, we'd be able to get through these tarantulas more quickly, which would be quite nice as well. Our opponent goes for the Typhoon, which is a pretty interesting option. He's playing entirely on the side, so he levels his far tower. I'll leave mine for now, although I am still exposed because my units are on the inside. Yes, and this Stormcaller immediately feels like a pretty good investment, taking out quite a lot of these leveled fangs. Well, the other problem with leveled fangs is that since they often are units that are just dying to intercept shots, they give more experience when they're leveled. This Tempest on the flank doesn't do too well into the Stormcallers, which do have a really nice turn. Shooting at, large, slow targets. It's kind of what they like. I avoided over-investing in these Stormcallers. We do see extended range Stormcaller, but we're kind of, they're moving into us already. I don't know how much use we're going to get out of that. So we go for the supply. It's only level round 3. These Stormcallers, if we over-invest in them, they'll get countered by Missile Interceptor. Leveling them up isn't going to make much of a difference. If we go for another pack, Missile Interceptor will become quite attractive for our opponent. So we just stay with the 1, even though it is quite tempting to duplicate this success. We've got 3 leveled snipers now, and we do level these Sledgehammers as well. And we go for a pack of Mustangs to try and absorb some of these fangs. Now, our opponent goes for a fang flank, which is not very good into a pre-existing pack of Mustangs, which is great for me. It does distract my Stormcaller, though, which is a little bit unfortunate, considering how well they did on the first round. Mustangs clean that up pretty nicely, and get more than a half a level, which is really good progress. before we turn back onto the medium-sized tanks that we're trying to take down with these Stormcallers. These Tempests are pretty decent into the Mustangs. The tower is vulnerable though. We just avoid it going down. Definitely potentially worth leveling that up. We lose a sniper here. A sniper turns once again to take down the tower, and narrowly we avoid that at that moment. But it does look like we might be in trouble here for this round. Stormcaller's not quite able to take out that marksman. Another volley. Marksman goes down, but this Typhoon is probably going to be all she wrote for round number 3. So our opponent pushes back. April's Day. April's Day. Makes me think of April Fool's Day, but maybe, I don't know, maybe that's the intention. Super supply out of our opponent. We go for ground underground threat. Pop it down. There's nothing to defend this tower whatsoever at this stage. He has leveled it, but we'll see if we can take advantage of a debuff. Grab another pack of Mustangs and give them range. So that should really help keep them safe long enough to DPS down these fangs. I also considered that that would mean that they would all start in range over here of these fangs. Maybe be able to get through them quickly. It's definitely a bit of an issue for us that they're distracting our Stormcallers. We do put down another pack of Sledgehammers, both for chaff and to kind of maybe expedite this process. They can do a volley into the side, take out a bunch of them. The Mustangs are better at taking down the individuals. They do slightly all just blop all their fire into one small packet. So this still takes a few moments to take down, and that is enough for these Typhoons to get rid of a whole pack of our chaff, which is unfortunate before they join. But yes, we're getting a crawler flank in quite nicely. They're bringing that down just in time for us to start really pushing through. Mustang's doing a great job, taking out all those fangs. Tempest's actually putting up a decent fight though as well. Round 4 goes decisively to us though. Feeling pretty good about the tanks. Feeling pretty good about the Mustangs, I think. Now, looking here, we've got the Lightning Storm, which is quite attractive. Our opponent goes for Improved Overlord. And Lightning Storm might well have been the right choice. I just don't really like the spells that much. It's expensive. I want to do units. You know, I don't want to just pop down this big storm and then kind of all the stuff dies or it doesn't. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just stubborn. I am stubborn, I know that. We level up these Mustangs again, level 3 now. Hoping to make them faster taking these down. I don't know. I think these guys do suffer a little bit from overkill. You know, otherwise they really would tear this unit down so quickly. And I think they're still going to take a few moments each time because it seems like they can target the same. It's not like hit scan or something somehow. And our opponent does pick up one of these level 2 Overlords. We go for Fang Shields. I think literally what I was thinking when I went for Fang Shields was, there was a game recently where I didn't go for enough. I didn't go for Fang Shield in the end, even though I should have. So this time, let's get it nice and early. Now, it turns out, actually, that these Typhoon missiles, I've just noticed that now, are extremely good into vertically placed shielded fangs, right? It shoots 4 homing missiles, and it seems like they're staggered enough that they take down 2 big blocks of fangs by first removing their shields in 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was quite suspicious. We do have Marksmen and Mustangs to take down this Overlord, which doesn't have armor. So I did think to myself, well, okay, we can keep the Mustangs as the anti-air, and if he goes for Mothership and gets Wasps, that won't help him if we're already in Mustang. So that could be good. Improved fire controls, nice and simple, cheap. Put it on a level 3 pack of Mustangs. Great. That seems like a good choice. We put down another marksman over here last turn as well to try and kind of add to the single target DPS to take down these guys. But actually, I think one of the things that I really underestimated here was how well this homing missile was clearing out our fangs. Let's watch that again in this next match and see just how that goes. We do put a bit of a pack of Sledgehammers a bit further forward. We do have this kind of large amount of fangs here, so we're going to kind of try to wrap in here. And we didn't want to put it too far forward because these guys arriving late, it's kind of not that good to have them trickle in. We go for the anti-air, expecting him to pick up another one, to be honest. It does feel like, if he's going for an improved Overlord, sure, he's going to go for a couple of them. They are expensive as an elite, but you could always go, one more each turn, plus a bunch of chaff. He does go for some fangs in front, just to make sure that we don't, put a melter on the quite close here. Look at this! Less so here, but because also there's, 2 Typhoons per pack. Those are actually extremely good against Colt. I should have retaliated by doing the same. And this is where we finally do lose this tower. We've luckily just his Overlord goes down so fast that it's already dead. But Typhoon's really shredding us down in that debuff time. Taking down our leveled marksman. 1 marksman left, trying to desperately to take down 1 or 2 more of these Typhoons. Just shooting so slowly though. And yeah, so I'd never really thought about these homing missiles as being quite good chaff clear. And that's quite an interesting thought. And especially on these vertical orientations, because they strike in a pretty small area, so I think if you were horizontally oriented, they would probably just hit the same place twice and do not as much damage. We pick up the leveled steel balls. Again, thinking, these guys are pretty bad against steel balls. Maybe I can put them here, get some extra boost to this flank. We level the tower, try to avoid that same thing happening again. Our opponent picks the hounds, and it clicks the incendiary bomb upgrade, which is just a really rude thing to be able to do. Suddenly have 3 packs of hounds, in addition to what you're actually going to deploy, which I believe he deploys another Overlord. And I mean, I guess I also got these steel balls, but all this fire, if it gets on my Mustangs, I could be in deep trouble. He also puts one on the flank. It's not going to be, hopefully, too bad this round, but the round afterwards, it could really hurt us. We get range on the sledgehammers, and we level our packs of sledgehammers up using our intensive training, so we've got pretty decent sledges now as well. These Stormcallers, because we haven't invested any further in them, our opponent hasn't retaliated against that with anti-missile at all. So we are still doing quite well there. Probably more flanking action would have been quite good here. The opponent does pick up that speed upgrade. And the fire is even more devastating. I mean, I guess you could say that he already was doing quite a good job of clearing out our chaff. But now even more so. Marksmen are locking onto the Typhoons fairly well, and we are getting volleys down on them too, so it's clearing them out this round. These Mustangs with the improved fire control, or improved firepower, are really taking down those improved Overlord on this side. And we do pull away with round number 7. But, with only a few units alive, our opponent is still alive with not too low HP. Smoke bomb comes out. Elite Fang, I don't think we need more expensive Fangs for either of us. Our opponent could get Carry Fang with this, I guess, but we go for the Smoke Bomb. Placing it inside our territory, knowing that they're going to advance into us, so it's going to be very hard for them to shield. Shielding our own units. We get Mech Rage for the tanks. Pop a missile down to try and clear this out. Our opponent drops a smoke onto the top of our shields. Now, I think I make one extremely critical mistake in this game, and that is clicking this missile interceptor. I thought to myself, these firebombs are just negated by the missile interceptor. There's all these missiles coming out. We can intercept them. That'll be good, right? Won't it? But Mustangs stop shooting at what they're shooting at when they shoot down missiles, and we only have 3 packs of Mustangs. They're currently doing an extremely large portion of the carry damage. So we've just suddenly introduced a distraction for them, so they're not going to be concentrating on their main job, which is something that may come back to bite us. We get another improved Overlord out of our opponent. They've had ground artillery for a while now, which is no doubt proving to be reasonably good. Still doing 40k damage, even though it did die pretty quickly in the last round to our Mustangs. Here we go. Our shield falls before the fire comes down. Well, oil. So, you know, even though we went Missile Interceptor, we weren't even able to stop this fire from coming down. Every time the Overlord fires, our Mustangs get distracted. Rather than shooting it down, we're shooting down its missiles. You know, if their missiles are getting through anyway too, which is frustrating. Big volleys coming out of our Stormcallers, but we get debuffed. This Overlord barely survives, and our opponent turns it back against us with 3 Overlords still alive at the end of the match, doing quite a lot of damage. Round 9. Okay. What do we pick here? He's got strong Overlords. He doesn't have armor. Our opponent goes for the Rhinos, and I went for the Phoenix. I think, you know, okay, the Phoenix, a bit more DPS to take these guys down. Pretty good against the Typhoons, outrange them too. Maybe that's going to be good. I didn't think about our opponent. What if our opponent goes for Armored Rhinos? And Armored Rhinos, not just on this side, I believe, but potentially on the other flank as well, which I think is quite a smart move, considering the reliance that we have on our Mustangs now. We're going more snipers, thinking to ourselves, well, all we need to do is have enough damage to take these Typhoons down. And we get anti-air. Yeah, that's gonna totally stop all these Overlords, right? So now we've got anti-air on everything. And let's just, again, pay attention to how much our Mustangs get distracted at shooting down missiles rather than murdering the enemies. We also thought to ourselves, well, at this point, we're close to the end of the game. We can afford to level our Stormcallers and then train them up and level them again, because that will allow us to, you know, hopefully destroy stuff like this. Turns out, apparently not. That would have been nice. Steel Ball comes in as well. Just barely is able to take down that Rhino. Rhino on the other side, going to easily take down these level 3 Mustangs, which should really have done better for themselves. This smoke was very good, but the tower goes down. So unfortunate. The other tower goes down, and we are collapsing here. And with the number of Overlords that he has, that is going to, I think, be GG. And that's the power of an Armored Rhino flank. I kind of felt like I still totally could have pulled this game out, but these guys distracting on the sides, in combination with using Missile Interceptor, potentially getting our best DPS units distracted. I mean, I think we still could have pulled this out. You know, the sledges were still doing a good job too. We had the anti-air we needed. Marksman actually, some of these doing decent jobs. Even the Phoenix doing 100k, so it wasn't a bad choice. It's just we didn't respect the possibility of these Rhinos on the flanks, and just how much uptime we would lose on our Mustangs clicking Missile Interceptor. So, I mean, potentially, you know, Hounds with scrubbing, for example, maybe could have been a better choice. This missile also doing a really good job of taking out these vertical shielded fang packs, which, you know, definitely could have done a better job of distracting these Overlords if not, if they hadn't been taken down so quickly. So, I lose this one. You know, some of my, you know, I don't actually have that many. I think I win a lot because I don't play the game enough to reach a stable MMR. I'm still at like 1,200 for this season so far. But, you know, this was a longer game, and, you know, just showing off my opponent's sweet-as improved Overlord Elite Specialist gameplay, honestly. And, you know, keep in mind, your opponent can put a bunch of leveled rhinos with armor on your flanks. And also bear in mind that Missile Interceptor, you know, can interfere with your DPS. Anyway, thanks for joining me for another episode of Mechabellum with me here, Partyfoot. If you enjoyed the episode, please, like or comment, and maybe we will see you again for another one. All right, until next time.